So we've got 2 hours to show the vast range of work that the National's done over the last 50 years by staging short scenes from some of the most memorable shows. There's more than 800 to choose from. We've got an unbelievable array of great actors, all of them at some point members of the National Theatre Company, and 6 of them were in the first National Theatre Company that started at the Old Vic in 1963. A small part of the show is from the archive, recently discovered and we don't think ever seen before, but most of it is going to be absolutely live on stage and live on television, and we're not sure anybody's ever done anything quite like this before.
Theatre, 50 years on stage company. Ladies and gentlemen, this is your beginner's call. Your calls, please. Miss Maxwell Martin, Mr. Barker, Mr. Jacobi, Mr. Lester and Mr. Townsend. Thank you.
We're starting this evening the same way the National Theatre started in 1963, with the opening scene of Hamlet, where the sentries on the battlements see the ghost of Hamlet's father. Playing the ghost this evening will be Sir Derek Jacobi, who played Laertes in the original production 50 years ago. The first voice you will hear is a live archive recording of Richard Hampton. Richard spoke the first lines in the first performance ever given by the National Theatre. The rest of the scene will be played by members of this year's company. I'm one of them.
Nay, answer me! Stand and unfold yourself!
Long live the king!
Bernardo?
He.
You come most carefully upon your hour.
It is now struck 12. Get thee to bed, Francisco.
For this relief, much thanks. 'Tis bitter cold, and I am sick at heart.
Have you had quiet guard?
Not a mouse stirring.
Ah, good night. If you do meet Horatio and Marcellus, the rivals to my watch, bid them make haste.
I think I hear them. Stand ho! Who is there?
Friends to this ground!
And liegemen to the Dane.
Give you good night.
Farewell, honest soldier. Who hath relieved you?
Bernardo hath my place. Give you good night.
Hola, Bernardo.
Say what? Is Horatio there?
A piece of him.
Welcome, Horatio. Welcome, good Marcellus.
What? Has this thing appeared again tonight?
I have seen nothing.
Tush, tush, 'twill not appear.
Horatio says 'tis but our fantasy and will not let belief take hold of him.
So let us once again assail your ears that are so fortified against our story. What we have tonight seen.
Peace break thee off. Look where it comes again.
In the same figure like the king that's dead.
Thou art a scholar. Speak to it, Horatio.
Looks he not like the king? Mark it, Horatio!
Most like it harrows me with fear and wonder.
It will be spoke to.
Question it, Horatio!
What art thou that usurps this time of night? Together with that fair and warlike form in which the majesty of buried Denmark did sometimes march. By heaven I charge thee, speak!
It is offended.
See, it stalks away.
Stay, speak! Speak, I charge thee, speak!
It was announced that he was to be the director of the National Theatre. He was very excited by it. He was also very frightened.
Larry kind of works, he has an area around him which is quite difficult to penetrate. It got easier and more relaxed.
Now look ye, gentlemen, he that bids me fair shall have me.
My dear, I'll prefer you. I'll make you a corporal this minute.
A corporal? I'll make you my companion. You shall eat with me.
You shall drink with me.
You shall lie with me, you young rogue.
You shall receive your pay and do no duty.
Then you must make me a field officer.
I'll do more than all this. I'll make you a corporal and give you brevet for sergeant.
Can you read and write, sir?
Yes.
Then your business is done. I'll make you chaplain to the regiment.
It was an actors' theatre, in that it was run by the greatest actor we had.
Joan was very important because she was Mrs. Olivier, and she sort of kept us all in check, really.
Tell me, Mikhail Lvovich, if I had a friend or a younger sister, and if you found out that well, suppose she loved you, how would you take that?
I don't know. Know how I expect. I should give her to understand that I could not care for her. My mind was taken up with other things. Anyway, if I'm going, I really must get off. Goodbye, my dear girl, or we shall not finish till morning. I'll go out through this way, if you don't mind. I don't want your uncle to detain me. No? No, don't trouble, please.
My voices were right. They told me you were fools, and that I was not to listen to your fine words or trust to your charity. You promised me my life, but you lied. You think life is nothing but not being stone dead. It is not the bread and water I fear. I can live on bread whenever I ask for more. 'Tis no hardship to drink water if the water be clean. Bread has no sorrow for me, nor water no affliction. But to shut me from the light of the sky and the sight of the fields and flowers, to chain my feet so that I can never again ride with the soldiers or climb the hills, to make me breathe foul, damp darkness and keep from me everything that brings me back to the love of God, when your wickedness and foolishness tempt me to hate him. All this is worse than the furnace in the Bible that was heated 7 times. I could do without my war horse. I could drag about in a skirt. I could let the banners and the trumpets and the knights and the soldiers pass me and leave me behind as they leave other women. If only I could still hear the wind in the trees, the larks in the sunshine, the young lambs crying through the healthy frost, and the blessed, blessed church bells that send my angel voices floating to me on the wind. But without these things, I cannot live. And by your wanting to take them away from me, or from any human creature, I know that your counsel is of the devil, and that mine is of God.
In 1966, Kenneth Tynan, who was the literary manager of the National Theatre, came back from the Edinburgh Fringe Festival with a dazzling new play, which focused on 2 very peripheral characters from Hamlet. It was Tom Stoppard's first play at the National, Rosencrantz and Guildenstern Are Dead, in which Hamlet's 2 doomed school friends ponder the mysteries of eternity, chance, and death.
Heads. Heads.
Heads? Heads?
One should think of the future.
It's the normal thing.
To have one. One is, after all, having one all the time. Now. And now. And now.
It could go on forever. Well, not forever, I suppose.
Do you ever think of yourself as actually being dead? Lying in a box with a lid on it?
No.
Nor do I. Really? It's silly to get depressed by it. I mean, one thinks of it like being alive in a box. One keeps forgetting to take into account the fact that one is dead. Well, it should make a difference, shouldn't it? I mean, you'd never know you were in a box, would you? It'd be just like being asleep in a box. Not that I'd like to sleep in a box, mind. Not without any air. You'd wake up dead for a start. And then where would you be? Apart from inside a box. That's the bit I don't like, frankly. That's why I don't talk about it. Because you'd be helpless, wouldn't you? Stuffed in a box like that. I mean, you'd be in there forever. Even taking into account the fact that you're dead. I mean, really, ask yourself, if I was to ask you straight out, I'm going to stuff you in this box now, would you rather be alive or dead? Naturally, you'd prefer to be alive. Well, because life in a box is better than no life at all, I expect. You'd have a chance, at least. You could lie there thinking, well, at least I'm not dead. Any minute, someone's going to bang on the lid and tell me to come out. Oh, you, what's your name? Come out of there!
You don't have to flog it to death.
I wouldn't think about it if I were you. You'd only get depressed. Eternity is a terrible thought. I mean, where's it going to end?
I don't think you're being very kind.
Oh, what makes you think that?
You being the cynical author laughing up his sleeve at a gushing admirer.
I think you're a very interesting woman and extremely nice looking.
Oh, do you?
Would you like me to make love to you?
Oh, now, really, David, I wish you wouldn't say things like that.
No, I've knocked you off your plate. I'll look away a minute while you climb back on it.
Oh, really? This is wonderful.
That's right. Now then.
Now then what?
You're adorable, you're magnificent, you're tawny.
I am not in the least tawny.
Now, don't argue.
This is sheer affectation.
Well, affectation's very nice.
No, it isn't. It's odious.
No, you mustn't be cross.
I'm not in the least cross.
Yes, you are, but you're very alluring.
Alluring?
Terribly.
How sweet of you. I can hear your brain clicking. It's really very funny.
Yes, well, that was rather rude.
You have been consistently rude to me for hours.
Never mind.
Why have you?
I'm always rude to people I like.
Oh, do you like me?
Enormous.
Oh, how sweet of you.
But I don't like your methods.
Methods? What methods?
Well, you're far too pleasant to occupy yourself with the commonplace.
And you spoil yourself by trying to be too clever.
Thank you.
Anyhow, I don't know what you mean by the commonplace.
Oh, you mean you want me to explain?
Not at all.
Very well, I will.
I shan't listen.
You'll pretend not to, but you'll hear every word, really.
Oh, you're so inscrutable and quizzical, just exactly what a feminine psychologist should be.
Yes, aren't
You
I?
frighten me dreadfully.
Oh, darling.
Oh, don't call me darling.
Well, that's unreasonable. You've been trying to make me the whole evening.
Oh, your conceit is outrageous.
Not conceit at all. You've been firmly buttering me up because you want a nice little intrigue.
How dare you?
It's perfectly true. If it weren't, you wouldn't be so cross.
I think you are insufferable.
Oh, Myra, dear Myra.
Don't touch me.
Oh, come along. Let's have that nice little intrigue. The only reason I've been so annoying is that I love to see things as they are first and then pretend they're what they're
Yes,
not.
words, masses and masses of words.
Yes, well, they're great fun to play with.
I am glad you think so. Personally, they bore me stiff.
Myra, don't be statuesque.
Yes, let go of my
You're
hand.
charming.
Let go
I
of my
won't.
hand. You will.
Oh.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
wedlock. We own, ordained by heaven's decree, but such as heaven ordained it first to be, concurring tempers in the man and wife, as mutual helps to draw the load of life. View all the works of providence above. The stars with harmony and concord move. View all the works of providence below. The fire, water, earth, air we know, all in one plant agree to make it grow. Must man, the chiefest work of art divine, be doomed in endless discord to repine? No. We should injure heaven by that surmise. Omnipotence is just, were man but wise.
Peter Nichols' The National Health was the first in a long and illustrious line of what came to be known as State of the Nation plays at the National Theatre. A very funny but merciless parody of a sentimental TV hospital soap is intercut with a very realistic portrayal of a shabby, underfunded hospital and a hospital staff that seems intent on doing anything but serving their patients properly. In the second bed from the right is Charles Kay, who played the same role 44 years ago.
Good morning. How are you today?
Oh.
Keep smiling. Soon be out of here. Good morning. How are you today?
Morning, matron. Not so dusty, thank you.
That's the spirit.
When you consider that half my tummy's
Keep
been
it up.
taken away.
Good morning. How are you getting along?
Hey?
Are they treating you well?
Not too bad.
That's right.
I'd like to go to a toilet.
Sister.
You know, toilet with a decent chain.
Get this patient a bedpan.
Nurse Lake. Sister.
Get Mr. Flagg a bedpan.
Nurse Sweet.
How are you today?
Get Mr. Flagg a bedpan.
Well, miss, I'll get these cramps.
Good.
In my leg.
Mr. Barnett, soon be out of here.
I don't want the cure.
Hello?
Bedpan for Mr. Flagg.
Right. Morning, matron.
Good morning. How are you today?
Lovely, matron. Everything's lovely.
That's what we like to hear, isn't it, sister? Get well soon. We need the beds.
You could have waited, could ya?
What's this?
Get the screens.
Yeah, what's he brought me this for?
He said he wanted to go to the toilet.
No.
I heard you.
He said, are you all right? I said, all right, though I'd like a toilet with a decent chain, like I've got at home.
Mr. Flagg doesn't want the bedpan. He only said he was looking forward to a toilet with a decent chain.
Do us a favour, Mary Pickford. The matron says do this. It's a royal command.
I don't want no bedpan.
Come along, Mr. Flagg.
Knickers down.
What's a daisy? There.
Mr. Mackey?
By the door, Doctor.
Oh, Doctor. I've been on duty for 29 hours. Where's Her Majesty?
On the balcony.
How do you feel? Nurse, this patient should have the screens right.
Right. Get more screens for Doctor.
They're all being used. There, look.
Nurse! Yes, coming!
Coming!
Shall I take you off, Mr. Flagg?
Well, I never wanted to get on here. But, now I'm on, you'd better leave me.
Oh. Doctor. Doctor!
We'll aspirate a pleural effusion. Yes, thank you, nurse. He should be on the terminal ward. Ask sister to arrange it. I'll be with the almoner if you want me.
Whoa, Doctor. Other way if you want to go out. She's coming down the other side.
Mr. Mackey to the terminal ward. Go for a nice long ride now, Mr. Mackey.
Chuff, 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 chuff,
Those chairs are anyhow, sister. Put them straight.
Nurse Lake.
Sister.
Those chairs are anyhow. Nurse Sweet. Put them straight. Those chairs are anyhow. Mr. Barnett. Put them straight.
Those chairs are anyhow. Put them straight. Ah. We're removing the beds as they fall vacant because I'm pleased to be able to tell you that the whole ward block is in for a very extensive facelift, which I'm sure you'll agree is long overdue. The walls will be in washable avocado pear. Curtains and counterpanes in Cotswold stone, high-level louvers on the windows, King's Fund beds with slimline mattresses.
Oh.
Into the jet age with one big jump.
No Man's Land by Harold Pinter. I remember seeing it.
Yeah, I saw it.
With Gielgud and Richardson at the Vic.
At the old Vic.
At the old, and then it
moved to the South Bank.
To the South Bank. I can't remember knowing what it was about.
No,
but
I don't know.
sat there in
but
awe
it
and
didn't
wonder.
really matter, did it?
No, it didn't.
You're not supposed to really know. You just watch it. It was about Harold Pinter.
Yes.
So you just watch it. And a lot of laughs in it.
And when they pause, have they dried or is it intended?
Well, I don't know, just long pauses, weren't they?
Yeah, long pauses.
I've done many plays by Harold. If you asked Harold what his plays were about, he wouldn't reply. He wouldn't say, I don't know, or he wouldn't say anything. He just wouldn't speak to you. So just get on with it and do it. That's all.
He's absolutely...
I don't quite know what Spooner and Hurst represent. I mean, they seem to be sort of kaleidoscopic. They can be many, many things at any time you want them to be.
One is very rich and one is very poor.
One is a kind of parasitic hanger-oner type person.
Yeah. And the other's a man who's done it all and sitting there drunk.
Yeah. I wish I was playing that part.
But he never stops talking, your man, does he?
Unfortunately not.
I am enraptured. Tell me more. Tell me more about the quaint little perversions of your life and times. Tell me more, with all the authority and brilliance you can muster, about the socio-political economic structure of the environment in which you attained to the age of reason. Tell me more.
There is no more.
Tell me then about your wife.
What wife?
How beautiful she was. How tender and how true. Tell me with what speed she swung in the air. With what velocity she came off the wicket. Whether she was responsive to finger spin. Whether you could bowl a shooter with her. Or an off break with a leg break action. In other words, did she Google? You will not say. I shall tell you then that my wife had everything. Eyes, a mouth, hair, teeth, buttocks, breasts, absolutely everything. And legs.
Which carried her away.
Carried who away? Yours or mine? Is she here now, your wife? Cowering in a locked room, perhaps? Was she ever here? Was she ever there in your cottage? Hmm? It is my duty to tell you, you have failed to convince. I am an honest and intelligent man. You pay me less than my due. Are you equally being fair to the lady? I begin to wonder whether truly accurate and therefore essentially poetic definition means anything to you at all. I begin to wonder whether you do in fact truly remember her, truly did love her. truly caressed her, truly did cradle her, truly did husband her, falsely dreamed, or did truly love her. I have seriously questioned these propositions, and I find them threadbare. Her eyes, I take it, were hazel.
Hazel shit.
Good Lord! Good Lord, do I detect a touch of the maudlin? Hazel shit. I ask myself, have I ever seen hazel shit? Or hazel eyes, for that matter. Do I detect a touch of the hostile? Do I detect, with respect, a touch of too many glasses of ale, followed by the great malt, which wounds, which wounds?
Tonight, my friend, you find me in the last lap of a race I'd long forgotten to run.
A metaphor. Things are looking up.
The next playwright is Alan Ayckbourn, one of the most prolific playwrights for the National Theatre. I can remember many, among them Sisterly Feelings, which I was in, Way Upstream, Chorus of Disapproval, Small Family Business, and Bedroom Farce. He started it on a Wednesday, he finished it on a Friday, he typed it up on the Saturday, and he went into rehearsal on the Monday.
Peter asked me to write a play specifically. I said, are you sure you want me to write for the National? He did a Peterism. He leant forward as we were having dinner and he said, Alan, ask yourself, can I do without the National Theatre? The answer is yes, but I'll ask you another question. Can the National Theatre do without you?
Bedroom Farce takes place in 3 suburban bedrooms over 24 hours, and I think probably that's all you need to know.
A damp patch, definitely. It's getting in from somewhere. I've just been standing on the spare bed in there, feeling the ceiling. The verdict is very, very damp. Grub up.
Just a minute.
It'll get cold.
I've just got to take this off.
Well, you could do that afterwards.
I'm not getting into bed with my makeup on, darling. It may look beautiful in films, but they don't have to worry about the laundry bills.
Oh, well, spot of bad news anyway.
Bad news?
Sardines were not in evidence. I had to settle for pilchards.
Pilchards? Oh.
Don't you like pilchards?
Well, not as much.
Well, similar. Both fish, anyway.
Yes.
Well, you had them in stock. I assumed you liked them.
I don't necessarily like everything I buy. Those were just stores for an emergency.
Ah, the old siege stores, eh? Hmm?
I bought a little of everything. I think there's even some tinned red cabbage, and I certainly don't intend to eat that.
Ah. Right, I'll wolf the lot then, shall I?
Oh, no. Leave me a little.
Oh, right. Didn't put the blanket on, did we?
Nor did we.
Down you go. Oh, this is nice. What better way to end the day? Listening to the rain gushing through our roof.
It's not raining, surely.
Metaphorical. These are not bad at all. You know, I think I could become a pilchard man in time. I think we're in imminent need of a hot water bottle here, you know.
Oh, yes.
Bearing in mind the normal running temperature of your feet.
It's not my fault. Most women have cold feet. It's circulation.
Well, I wouldn't know about that. I haven't sampled that many.
All the girls at school had cold feet. Well, not the younger ones. The younger girls had very hot feet, like little boys. But when we got into the sixth form, we all found we had cold feet. Something to do with maturing.
Very curious. Chaps I shared a hut with in the army all had overwhelmingly hot feet.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yet, I pronounce these pilchards a success.
Jolly good. Well, here I come.
Stand by for cold feet.
Oh, darling, you're getting fish all over the sheet.
Oh, sorry.
Now we're going to reek of fish all night. I don't think this was a terribly bright idea of somebody's.
Oh, well, you only live once. What the hell?
Well, it's on your side. You'll have to put up with it. Yes, quite pleasant, aren't they? Not up to sardines, but not bad.
They got my vote.
At least we're in for a reasonably early night.
Yes.
Sunday tomorrow, we can lie in.
Go for a walk later on, if you like.
That would be nice.
If unwet.
Rather.
Otherwise, we'll both be crouching in the rafters with buckets.
Oh, God forbid.
That night, I heard Mozart's music for the first time. Some serenade for wind instruments, only vaguely at first, too horrified to attend. But presently the sound insisted, a solemn adagio in E-flat. It started simply now. Just a pulse in the lowest register. Bassoon and basset horn, like a rusty squeeze box. would have been comic except for the slowness, which gave it instead a sort of serenity. And then suddenly, high above him, sounded a single note on an oboe. It hung there, unwavering, piercing me through, till breath could hold it no longer, and the clarinet withdrew it out of me and softened it and sweetened it to a phrase of such delight it had me trembling. The lights flickered in the room. My eyes clouded. The squeeze box groaned louder, and over it the higher instruments wailed and warbled, throwing lines of sound around me. Long lines of pain around and through me. Oh, the pain. Pain as I had never known it. I called up to my sharp old God. What is this? What? But the squeeze box went on, and the pain cut deeper into my shaking head, and suddenly I was running downstairs, through the side door, out into the street, out into the dark night, gasping for life. What? What is this, Signore? What is this pain? What is the need in the sound? Forever unfulfillable, and yet fulfilling him who hears it utterly. Is it your need? Can it be yours? Dimly the music sounded from the salon above. Dimly the stars shone on the empty street. I was suddenly frightened. It seemed to me that I had heard a voice of God, and that it issued from a creature whose voice I had also heard. And it was the voice of an obscene child.
Which of you gentlemen would like to testify?
Detroit.
We'll hear testimony from Brother Nicely Johnson. Brother Nicely Johnson.
Get up, you fat water buffalo.
Well, it happened to me kind of funny. Like in a dream.
Tell us in your own words.
I dreamed last night I got on a boat to heaven, and by some chance I had brought my dice along, and there I stood and I hollered, someone fade me. But the passengers, they knew right from wrong. For the people all said, sit down, you're rocking the boat. People all said, sit down, you're rocking the boat. And the devil will drag you under by the sharp lapel of your checkered coat. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. I sailed away on that little boat to heaven, and by some chance found a bottle in my fist, and there I stood, nicely passing out the whiskey. But the passengers were bound to resist. For the people all said, beware, you're on a heavenly trip. People have said, beware, you'll scuttle the ship. And the devil will drag you under by the pants and tie around your wicked throat. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. And as I laughed at those passengers to heaven, A great big wave came and washed me overboard, and as I sank and I hollered, "Someone save me!" That's the moment I woke up. Thank the Lord. And I said to myself, sit down, you're rocking the boat. Said to myself, sit down, you're rocking the boat. And the devil will drag you under with a soul so heavy you'll never float. Sit down, you're rocking the boat. Sit down, you're rocking, sit down, you're rocking the boat. Sit down, you're rocking, sit down, you're rocking the boat. Sit down! Drag you under. Yes, the devil will drag you under. Sit down, you're under the bar. Sit down, you know you're rocking.
I never saw Pravda at the National Theatre, but I remember it was Anthony Hopkins at the centre of this new play, jointly written by David Hare and Howard Brenton. And everyone was talking about this extraordinary performance of Hopkins. So I suppose if I had seen it, I wouldn't be comfortable about putting myself in the firing line for this. The play is about a newspaper magnate from South Africa who comes to England and starts to take over various important British newspapers. It's supposedly based on a famous newspaper magnate. We can all guess who. He takes over like a beast, takes over the rather genteel and slightly ineffectual British press.
You are born into a tragic culture. Tragedy is bred in your bones. A country of almost impossible beauty. From the very moment that you are born, the sadness infects you like a mist hanging over the veldt. Jackal, giraffe, hyena, lion, the well-nigh unimaginable richness of creation is presented to you every day from the window of your speeding car in scenes of almost postcard-like glamour. Nature is there in front of you. Childhood, boyhood, manhood, these are special things in South Africa. The hardening of muscle, the sprouting of hair, the coming realization that you are born into a divided culture. No one has tried harder than I have through my organizations to untie the knots of the cultural contradictions. Black, white, rich, poor, us, them, but people who come from Europe bearing simplistic solutions ignore the grandeur, the scale of what we have inherited from Mother Nature herself. What I do is a natural thing. There is nothing unnatural about making money.
When you are born where I was born, you do have a feeling for nature. What I admire about nature is animals, birds, plants, they fucking get on with it and don't stand about complaining all the time. We are greatly interested in your mother's shareholdings in the Victory.
The Daily Victory?
Acquiring it. Oh, I know what you will tell me. The Daily Victory is one small part of your country that you all say will never be for sale. An Everest of probity. Unscalable. The only newspaper with England on its masthead. An institution like Buckingham Palace, the Tower of London, and your two Houses of Parliament. And as dismal and dreary a read as it is possible for humanity to contrive.
Yes, it's true. It isn't very good.
Your mother owns 21% of the shares.
I don't understand. If you want to acquire stock, go and talk to her.
It is often hard to speak clearly with Dame Elsa. She's often inaccessible. Her mind is often inaccessible. Her mind is often drifting between one thing and another.
Incoherent. Senile.
I gather from what you're saying, you've already offered for her shares.
Yes. Dame Elsa seems not to realise the potential of her shareholdings.
Oh, God, is there nowhere to sit down?
Now, Dame Elsa's stock, and we own 53% of the shares.
Control.
Can you just buy a piece of England? You're South African.
We have the England cricket captain.
That's right. Well, just like that, there are trustees with a veto on ownership. Do you suppose they'd ever let you in?
But what if they did, and you were the man who had helped me? You're a member of Parliament. Some backbench lobbying, the right word here and there. You've not much to lose, and if we succeed, a friendly victory will assist your career.
I see.
As a politician. Not even a politician. No longer a politician, with the Daily Victory behind you. A statesman. Get him a seat.
The press and politicians, it's a delicate relationship. Too close and danger ensues, and too far apart, democracy itself cannot function. There must be an essential exchange of information, creative leaks, a discreet lunch, interchange in the lobby, the art of the unattributable telephone call late at night, a source close to the Prime Minister, meaning the Prime Minister. Yes, this mutual relationship is a good thing. And if it can be made concrete, formalized by an actual commercial arrangement, if I, for instance, were to offer you my private skill and influence, and in return you were to guarantee me access to your newspapers, if the channels of free expression were to be channeled in my direction, if Man of Steel were to become a regular feature, a column written by myself, by me, then democracy would be safeguarded. And we would have a very satisfactory deal.
Such a load of fucking shit! It's shit! It's shit! What a load of fucking shit! God who writes this fucking rubbish! You, what do you do?
Home Affairs, sir.
Eton, where are you? How much have we spent?
150,000.
How much does that leave in the firing fund?
350,000.
You're fired.
Upstairs.
Who wrote this article on Central American politics? Who is it? Is it anybody here? Put your hand up. Sack yourself, please. Spare me the embarrassment. No gringo should have to read this kind of stuff. You, where are you going?
I'm going to the lavatory.
Use the public toilet. You're fired.
The accountant's on the 4th floor.
Which are you? Have I fired you?
No, sir.
Then get over there. Get over that side. All the ones I haven't fired are over that side. Don't confuse me. Have a cup of coffee. Where is marketing? They are the worst. What is this slogan? The victory is yours. What does it mean? What is this communistic propaganda? All the advertising people must go. Don't even let them take a pencil with them. Search them. Let them go out naked.
Excuse me, sir. I'm deputy editor. I've been holding the fort. I trust you find everything to your satisfaction.
What is your name?
My name is Clifton Wicker Basket.
In South Africa, there are no men called Wicker Basket. The name is totally unknown. Who is this?
Oh, that's Mac Wellington, the drama critic. Whipper Wellington. He's just been to a lunchtime theatre.
What sort of criteria do you use in your reviews? Is it more important that the play flatters your personal prejudices, or do you make a genuine attempt at objectivity?
Oh, God.
Wicker Basket, did I sack you?
Oh, no.
Doesn't make any difference. I'm sacking you now. Right, everyone, let's get the news on the street.
I feel very stubborn. I'm going to sit it out until that bloody building is alive. I do enjoy a good fight, if I believe it's worth fighting. I'm sure I'm an adrenaline addict. I like that.
I dreamt there was an Emperor Antony. Oh, such another sleep, that I might see but such another man.
If it might please ye.
His face was as the heavens, and therein set a sun and moon which kept their course and lighted the little the earth.
Most sovereign creature.
His legs bestrid the ocean, his reared arm crested the world. His voice was propheted as all the tuned spheres, and that to friends. But when he meant to quail and shake the orb, he was as rattling thunder. For his bounty, there was no winter in't. An autumn 'twas that grew the more by reaping. His delights were dolphin-like. They showed his back above the element they lived in. In his livery walked crowns and crownets. Realms and islands were as plates dropped from his pocket.
Cleopatra.
Think you there was or might be such a man as this I dreamt of?
Gentle madam, no.
You lie up to the hearing of the gods. But if there be, nor ever were one such, it's past the size of dreaming.
The luckiest thing that happened to me when I was running the National Theatre, that I received a play from an American friend, and it was a play that had never been performed in America. And I started to read it. After I got to page 3, I realized I had to put this play on. was a play about living with AIDS, about American politics, about religion. It was about sex, love, and death, which, after all, is the stuff of all good drama. And it was called Angels in America.
Poor Louis. I'm sorry your grandma is dead.
Tiny little coffin, huh? Sorry I didn't introduce you to my... I get so closety at these family things.
Butch. You get Butch. Hi, Cousin Doris. You don't remember me. I'm Lou, Rachel's boy. Lou, not Louis, because if you say Louis, they'll hear the sibilant F.
I don't have.
I don't blame you. Hiding. Bloodlines, Jewish curses are the worst. I personally would dissolve if anyone ever looked me in the eye and said, fa. Fortunately, wasps don't say fa. Oh, and by the way, darling, Cousin Doris is a dyke.
No. Really?
You don't notice anything. If I hadn't been filleting you for the last 4 years, I'd swear you were straight.
You're in a pissy mood. Cat still missing?
Not a furball in sight. It's your fault.
It is?
I warned you, Louis. Names are important. Call an animal Little Sheba and you can't expect it to stick around. Besides, it's a dog's name.
I wanted a dog in the first place, not a cat. He sprayed my books.
He was a female cat.
Cats are stupid, high-strung predators. Babylonians sealed them up in bricks. Dogs have brains.
Cats have intuition.
A sharp dog is as smart as a really dull 2-year-old child.
Cats know when there's something wrong.
Only if you stop feeding them.
They know. That's why Sheba left, because she knew.
Knew what?
I did my best Shirley Boo this morning. Floppy slippers, house coat, curlers, can of little friskies. Come back, little Sheba, come back! To no avail. Le chat, il ne reviendra! Jamais! Jamais! See?
That's just a burst blood vessel.
Not according to the best medical authorities.
What? Tell me.
KS, baby. Lesion number 1. The wine dark kiss of the angel of death. I'm a legionnaire, the foreign legion, the American legion, legionnaire's disease.
Stop.
My troubles are legion.
Will you stop?
You think I'm handling this well? I'm going to die.
Bullshit!
Let go of my arm.
No!
Let go.
No!
I can't find a way to spare you, baby. No wall like the wall of hard, scientific fact. KS. Wham! Bang your head on that.
Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you! Fuck you!
Well, that's what I like to hear, a mature reaction. Come on, let's go see if the cats come home. Louis.
When did you find this?
I couldn't tell you.
Why?
I was scared.
Of what?
That you'll leave me.
Oh.
Bad timing, funeral and all. But I figured as long as we're on the subject of death.
I have to go bury my grandma.
Lou? Then you'll come home?
Then I'll come home.
I do the wrong and first begin to brawl. Secret mischiefs that I set abroach, I lay into the grievous charge of others. Clarence, whom I indeed have cast in darkness, I do beweep to many simple gulls, namely to Stanley Hastings, Buckingham, and tell them 'tis the Queen and her allies that stir the king against the Duke, my brother. Now they believe it, and withal whet me to be revenged on Rivers, Dorset, Grey. But then I sigh, and with a piece of scripture tell them, God bids us do good for evil. And thus I clothe my naked villainy in odd old ends, stolen forth of Holy Writ, and seem a saint, when most I play the devil.
My first job at the National was selling ice creams and tearing tickets as a 19-year-old usher. But I was in the audience when David Hare wrote his great trilogy, in which he examines Britain through the prism of three of its great institutions: the Church, the law, and Westminster. An absence of war examines the Labour Party as its volatile leader fights a doomed campaign.
Now, let's change the subject entirely, Mr. Jones. The policies themselves and how they change. Let's look at mortgage tax relief.
Oh, yes. Yes, of course.
But there's no mention in your manifesto of any plan to abolish this concession.
No, we have none.
And yet my understanding is, until very recently, you were determined to abolish it.
Abolish it? No, that is absolutely not true.
You see, I've been told on very good authority, plans to abolish it were there. They were in the draft manifesto. Then at the last minute, they were removed.
No, I don't think so.
On November the 14th, on your instructions, a whole paragraph was specifically removed.
No, that is absolutely not so.
You mean you're denying it? You're denying this proposition was removed?
On mortgage tax relief, it was never my intention. You asked me, I tell you. Now, I want to be clear.
The truth now, Mr. Jones.
This proposal was never meant to be in the final manifesto.
Oh, good, yes. Now we're making some headway. So now you admit it was there for a time.
Well...
So who took it out? That is my question. Did you or did you not take it out?
I did not.
Really? Really? That's not what I've been told.
Are you calling me a liar?
I'm calling you nothing. That's for the public to decide. Thank you, Mr. Jones.
You walk me away. Just walk me away from it. All right, George. What the hell's going on? How did he know? Well, somebody told him. You tell me who told him. Who bloody told him?
Wait a moment.
Whoever told him is going to have to face me!
George, Mr. Frank would like to say goodnight to you.
George,
No,
you're not making this worse.
Calm down. Calm down, George.
George, I don't believe it.
It's already started. The phones are ringing out there.
How could you?
He rattled me.
How could you do that?
Hold on.
You have handed them everything.
I know.
You have handed them their issue. Labour's secret plan to raise tax. You've handed them their headlines.
I know that.
Are you calling me a liar? They're all going to use it. Everyone, they're going to go for you.
He sets the trap, and you walk right in.
Oliver.
Now, everyone, hold on. Let's just stop for a moment.
I gave you the card. It was on the card I bloody gave you. Be careful, it said. Watch for it. Watch for mortgage tax relief.
All right.
But oh no. You're too vain to do your bloody homework.
Oliver.
Of course, you're standing round wasting time with these bloody girls. You're listening to Go-Eyed Bloody Mary, all these women surrounding you, telling you how marvellous you are. Do you not get it? Will you never get it? Giggling with girls who are in love with you, that isn't the job. It's not the bloody job, you idiot!
George, come on. Walk away. Keep walking. Keep walking.
Nuts. Did anyone see?
This is suicide.
Come on, gentlemen, let's calm this thing down.
my belly.
It humbles, sir.
I ate a pear at supper.
2 pears, sir. It is as tight as a drum.
Saving your presence, I will try a fart.
No?
Oh,
Lady Townsend came to see me this evening.
yes.
Wanted to know if she could sit during the drawing room.
Sit? What on earth for?
She is about to give birth.
Yes, well, you've given birth 15 times.
Yes, but I do sit.
Yes, but nothing wrong with standing. It's only 2 hours. What did you say?
Told her she should stand.
Yes, but quite right. If everybody's having a baby who wants to sit, next thing it'll be everybody with gout, and before long the place look like a Turkish harem. What?
Arcadia is widely regarded as Tom Stoppard's masterpiece. It explores things like maths, physics, literary criticism, the nature of truth, the impossibility of knowledge, horticulture, the cosmos, the behavioral patterns of tortoises. Probably can't get all of that into a 3-minute extract. But here, Hannah, a best-selling novelist, Valentine, a mathematician, and Bernard, a literary critic determined to find traces of Lord Byron wherever he looks, cross swords over the nature of truth.
Last paragraph. If we seek the occasion of Ezra Chater's early and unrecorded death, do we need to look far? Without question, Lord Byron, in the very season of his emergence as a literary figure, quit the country in a cloud of panic and mystery and stayed abroad for 2 years at a time when continental travel was unusual and dangerous. If we seek his reason, do we need to look far?
Bollocks. Well, I think it's true. Byron had been banging on for months about leaving England. There's a letter in February.
But he didn't go, did he?
And then he didn't sail until the beginning of July.
Everything moved more slowly then.
Oh.
Time was different. He was 2 weeks in Falmouth waiting for wind or something.
Actually, Bernard, as a scientist, your theory is incomplete.
But I'm not a scientist.
No. As a scientist...
I've yet to hear a proper argument.
Nobody would kill a man and then pan his book. I mean, not in that order.
Well, it's all trivial anyway.
What is?
Who wrote what when?
Trivial?
It's personalities.
Sorry, did you say trivial?
It's a technical term.
Yeah, not where I come from, it isn't.
The questions you're asking don't matter, you see? It's like arguing who got there first with the calculus. The English say Newton, the Germans say Leibniz, but it doesn't matter. What matters is the calculus. Scientific progress, knowledge.
Really? Why?
Sorry, why what?
Well, why does scientific progress matter more than personality?
Is he serious?
No, he's trivial.
Do yourself a favour, you're on a loser.
Oh, you're going to zap me with penicillin and pesticides. Well, spare me that, and I'll spare you the bomb and aerosols. But don't confuse progress with perfectibility. A great poet is always timely. A great philosopher is an urgent need. There's no rush for Isaac Newton. We were perfectly happy with Aristotle's cosmos. And personally, I preferred it. 55 crystal spheres geared to God's crankshaft is my idea of a satisfying universe. I couldn't think of anything more trivial than the speed of light. Quarks, quasars, big bangs, black holes. Who gives a shit? How did you people con us out of all that status, all that money? And why are you so pleased with yourselves?
Are you against penicillin, Bernard?
Well, don't feed the animals. I'd pushed a lot of you over a cliff myself, except the one in the wheelchair. I think I'd lose the sympathy vote before people had time to think it through.
I give this heavy weight from off my head. And this unwieldy scepter from my hand. The pride of kingly sway from out my heart. With mine own tears, I wash away my balm. With mine own hands, I give away my crown. With mine own tongue, deny my sacred state.
Is my horses ready?
Thy asses have gone about them. The reason why the 7 stars are no more than 7's a pretty reason.
Because they are not 8?
Yes, indeed, I would make a good fool.
To take it again, perforce. Monster ingratitude.
If thou weren't my fool, Nuncle, I'd have thee beaten for being old before thy time.
How's that?
Thou shouldst not have been old, till thou hadst been wise.
Oh, let me not be mad. Not mad, sweet heaven. Keep me in temper. I would not be mad. And now, are the horses ready?
Isn't it rich? Are we a pair? Me here at last on the ground, you in midair. Send in the clowns. Isn't it bliss? Don't you approve? One who keeps tearing around, one who can't move. And where are the clowns? Send in the clowns. Just when I stopped opening doors, finally knowing the one that I wanted was yours, making my entrance again with my usual flair, sure of my lines, no one is there. Don't you love farce? My fault, I fear. I thought that you'd want what I want. Sorry, my dear. But where are the clowns? There ought to be clowns. Don't bother, they're here.
Desiree, I'm sorry. I should never have come. To flirt with rescue when you've no intention of being saved. Do try to forgive me.
Isn't it rich? Isn't it queer? Losing my timing this late in my career. there ought to be clowns. Well, maybe next year.
The medieval mystery plays were written over 500 years ago, and they were created by ordinary men and women. And the plays basically tell the story of the creation, the fall, and the redemption of man.
Thou must be smitten!
The poet Tony Harrison adapted the mysteries. Bill Bryden's original production took all of the seats out of the Cottesloe Theatre, and his actors playing Yorkshire working people were able to mix with the audience. And it was a profoundly religious experience, whether you were a believer or not.
Thou little tiny child, my Lily, thou little tiny child.
Hail, comely and clean. Hail, young child. Hail, makers, I mean, of maidens so mild. Thou hast confounded, I ween, the warlock so wild, the false bringer of teen. Now goes he beguiled. Lo, merry he is. Lo, he laughs, my sweeting. Ah. A very fair meeting. I've held to my telling. Have a bob of cherries.
Hail, sovereign saviour, for thou hast a sort. Hail, nursling and flower, that all thing is wrought. Hail, full of favour, that make all out of naught. Hail, I kneel and I cower. A bird have I brought to me bairn. Hail, tiny little mop. Of our creed thou art crop. I would drink of thy cup, little Daystone.
Hail, little darling dear, full of Godheed. I pray thee, be near when that I have need. Hail, sweet, in thy cheer my heart will bleed to see thee sit here in so poor a weed with no pennies. Hail, put forth thy dole. I bring thee but a ball. Laugh and play thee withal, and go to the tennis.
Father of heaven, God omnipotent, that set all in day 7, his Son has he sent. My name could he name, and on me his light spent. I conceived him full even by God's might as he meant. And now is he born. May he keep you from woe. I shall pray him so. Tell forth as ye go, and mind on this morn.
I hope without dread today to see that child in his array. But methinks, lords, by my faith, the star it standeth still.
Whom seek ye, sirs, by way so wild? We talking, travelling to and fro. Here dwells a woman with a child. and her husband, here are no more.
We seek a bairn that all shall shield. A certain sign has said us so. And his mother, a maiden mild. Ne'er hope we now to find them two.
Come near, good sirs, and see. Your way to an end is brought.
Me beseemeth by this place that little treasure his mother has. Therefore, to help her in this case, gold present shall I.
And I will offer, through God's grace, incense that noble savour has. Stink of the stable it shall make pass, where they both lie.
And myrrh is best my offering to be, to anoint him, as thinks me, the baby's members, head and knee, yea, all his bright body. Shepherds, arise, be not afraid. With hasty steps prepare to David's city sing on earth with our blessed infant there. With our blessed infant there, with our blessed infant there. Sing, sing, all earth, sing, sing, all earth, eternal praises sing to our Redeemer, to our Redeemer, and our heavenly King. Sing, sing, all earth, sing, sing, all earth, eternal praises sing to our Redeemer, to our Redeemer, and our
I have of late, but wherefore I know not, lost all my mirth, foregone all custom of exercises. And indeed it goes so heavily with my disposition that this goodly frame, the earth, seems to me a sterile promontory. This most excellent canopy, the air. Look you, this brave o'erhanging firmament, this majestical roof, fretted with golden fire. Why, it appeareth nothing to me but a foul and pestilent congregation of vapours. What a piece of work is a man! How noble in reason, how infinite in faculties, in form and moving, how express and admirable, in action, how like an angel, in apprehension, how like a god. And yet to me, what is this quintessence of dust? Man delights not me.
The Allied troops were closing in. There was nothing more we could do. Elizabeth and the children had taken refuge in a village in Bavaria, so I went to see them before I was captured. Out of Württemberg, down through the Swabian Jura, to the first foothills of the Alps, across my ruined homeland. Was this what I'd chosen for it? This endless rubble, this perpetual smoke in the sky, these hungry faces? Was this my doing? And all the desperate people on the road, the most desperate of all were the SS, bands of fanatics roaming around, shooting deserters out of hand, hanging them from roadside trees. The second night, and suddenly, there it is, the terrible, familiar black tunic emerging from the twilight in front of me. On his lips, as I stop, the one terrible, familiar word, deserter, he says. He sounds as exhausted as I am. I give him the travel order I've written for myself, but there's hardly enough light in the sky to read by, and he's too weary to bother. He begins to undo his holster instead. He's going to shoot me because it's simply less labor. And suddenly I'm thinking very quickly and clearly. What comes into my mind this time is the pack of American cigarettes I've got in my pocket, and already it's in my hand. I'm holding it out to him, the most desperate solution to a problem yet. I wait while he stands there, looking at it, trying to make it out, trying to think. His left hand holding my useless piece of paper, his right on the fastening of the holster. There are two simple words in large print on the pack. Lucky strike. He closes the holster and takes the cigarettes instead. It had worked. It had worked. Like all the other solutions to all the other problems. For 20 cigarettes, he let me live. And on I went. For 3 days and 3 nights, past the weeping children, the lost and hungry children drafted to fight, then abandoned by their commanders. Past the starving slave laborers walking home to France, to Poland, to Estonia. Through Gammertingen and Biberach and Memmingen. Mindelheim, Kaufbeuren, and Schöngau, across my beloved homeland, my ruined and dishonored and beloved homeland.
A kind of artificial barrier had grown up that musical theatre is something where you kind of check in your brain at the cloakroom. And I don't think that's the case. I've never thought that's the case. I've never seen that there should be any particular division.
We know we belong to the land, and the land we belong to is grand. Yippee, 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 yippee.
I think a national theatre is very well served by doing the whole spectrum.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
I can't! I'm so tired. Oh, I'm so tired.
For God's sake, Higgins, it's 3 o'clock in the morning. Do be reasonable.
I'm always reasonable. Eliza, if I can go on with a blistering headache, you can.
I've got an headache and all.
Here. Eliza, I know you're tired. I know your headaches. I know your nerves are as raw as the meat in a butcher's window, but think what you're trying to accomplish. think what you're dealing with. The majesty and grandeur of the English language. It's the greatest possession we have. The noblest sentiments that ever flowed in the hearts of men are contained in its extraordinary, imaginative, and musical mixture of sounds. That's what you've set yourself to conquer, Eliza. And conquer it, you will. Now, try it again.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
What was that?
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
Again.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
I think she's got it. I think she's got it.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
By George, she's got it! By George, she's got it! Now, once again, where does it rain?
On the plain, on the plain.
And where's that soggy plain?
In Spain, in Spain.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. In Hertford, Hereford, and Hampshire,
hurricanes hardly happen. How kind of you to let me come.
Now, once again, where does it rain?
On the plain, on the plain.
And where's that blasted plain?
In Spain, in Spain.
The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain. The rain in Spain stays mainly in the plain.
You were a wonderful lover. Such a wonderful person to go to bed with. And I think mostly because you were really indifferent to it, isn't that right? Never had any anxiety about it. Did it naturally, easily, slowly, with absolute confidence and perfect calm. More like opening a door for a lady or seating her at a table and giving expression to any longing for her. Your indifference made you wonderful at lovemaking. Strange, but true. You know, if I thought you would never make love to me again, I would go downstairs to the kitchen and pick out the longest and sharpest knife I could find and stick it straight into my heart. I swear that I would. But one thing I don't have is the charm of the defeated. My hat is still in the ring, and I am determined to win. What is the victory of a cat on a hot tin roof? I wish I knew. Just staying on it, I guess, as long as she can.
Christine,
Yes?
must be near daybreak, isn't it?
Yes, it's beginning to get grey.
What made you jump when I spoke? Is my voice so strange to you?
Thought you were asleep.
I haven't been able to sleep. I've been lying here thinking, what makes you so uneasy?
I haven't been able to sleep either.
You crept out of bed so quietly.
I didn't want to wake you.
Couldn't you bear it lying close to me?
I just didn't want to disturb you by tossing.
Ah, we better light the light and talk a while.
I don't want to talk. I prefer the dark.
I want to see you. You like the dark, where you can't see your old man of a husband, is that it?
I wish you wouldn't say things like that, Ezra. If you're going to say stupid things, I'm going in my own room.
Wait, don't go. I don't want to be alone. I didn't mean to say those things. I guess there's bitterness inside me.
You've always been bitter.
Before we married.
Don't remember.
You don't want to remember you ever loved me.
I just don't want to talk of the past.
I feel strange, Christine.
Is it your heart? You don't think you're going to be taken ill, do you?
No. Is that what you were waiting for? Is that why you were so willing to give yourself tonight? Were you hoping...
Oh, stop talking like that, Ezra. If you're going to talk like that, I'm going in my own room.
Wait, I'm sorry I said that. It isn't my heart. It's something uneasy troubling in my mind, as if something inside me was listening, watching, waiting for something to happen.
Waiting for what to happen?
I don't know. This house is not my house. This is not my room, nor my bed. They're empty, waiting for someone to move in. And you are not my wife. You're waiting for something.
What would I be waiting for?
For death to set you free.
Leave me alone. Stop nagging at me with your crazy suspicions. Not your wife. You acted as if I were your wife, your property, not so long ago.
Your body? What are bodies to me? I've seen too many rotten in the sun to make grass greener, ashes to ashes, dirt to dirt. Is that your notion of love? You think I married a body?
Look out, Ezra! I can't
and I
stand
hope my homecoming would mark a new beginning, new love between us. By God, I'm an old fool.
Did you think you could make me weak? Make me forget all those years? No, Ezra, it's too late. You want the truth? Well, you guessed it. Oh, yes, you used me. You've given me children. But I've never once been yours. How could I be? And whose fault is that? I loved you when I married you. I wanted to give myself, but you made me so I couldn't give. You filled me with disgust.
You say that to me?
Oh, you want the truth? Well, you're going to hear it now.
Be quiet, Christine.
I lied about everything. I lied about Adam. It was I he came to see. I
I made him come.
You dared?
Yes, I dared. And all my trips to New York weren't to visit Father, but to be with Adam. He's gentle and tender. He's everything I've ever longed for. He's what I wanted all those years with you. A lover. I love him. So now you know the truth.
You whore! I'll kill you! Quick! My medicine!
What is your medicine?
Understand! Hurry!
Wait. I have it. Here. Here. Now drink.
That is not my medicine!
This is Hackney, and this street is what the media have dubbed Murder Mile due to the high incidences of gun crimes and shootings. It's the world that I've chosen to set my play in, Elmina's Kitchen.
Ash, do you read? You know, like, for fun.
Why am I gonna do that?
Feed your mind, maybe.
They make all the good books into films, innit?
Seeing?
What? I never see me pick up a book in my life. Except now, here you reading all the self-help manuals I use a blasted white.
Reading this for whites? I'm trying to open up my mind to different things. What's wrong with it?
If that's your thing, nothing, man.
So what you're saying is there's nothing wrong with education?
Happy birthday, old man.
Thank you. Then why did I find all of your college books in the rubbish?
Chap, I ain't got it for this.
Why are your books in the bin, Ashley?
They're there because I put them there.
Don't be rude.
I ain't got time for college.
You don't have time? What do you have time for? Fucking machino, garage raves?
Don't come now with this whole good caring dad number right now.
I ain't asked you about college before now.
I stand corrected. You did ask me about college, but you wanted me to take days off to fucking food.
Well, you're swearing that, boy.
Forget this. College don't fit into the plan I have for my life. You want to keep us in your little plantain burgers? Good luck to you. May you always be happy. Me? I'm a man, go on now.
You like that, wouldn't you? You like me to punch your lights out so you could walk street and say, see, I told you my dad wasn't no punk.
Why would I say that? You are a punk.
Don't you push me.
And what?
And what?
Yeah, what are you gonna do with your old fat self?
Take you the hell out.
You're joking, Bridget. You can't touch me. I'll knock you out before you can even raise your hand, stuff.
How are you gonna put your hand on your father and think you're gonna live good?
Man lives how he can.
So. Do it then! If your name is man, put your hand on me! No, put your hand on me! You know what I read in one of them white books the other day? The true sign of intelligence is how man deals with the problems of his environment. I don't want to live like this, Ashley. It ain't fun.
Get off your head, me!
I'm trying to change shit around here, but you ain't online, bro. And what you're trying to head is a dead thing. It's a dark place. It don't go nowhere.
This is my cherry springer moment.
evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the show. Please give a special welcome to my guests tonight. They've come a long way to be with us, so please show them some respect.
Bring on the losers! Bring on the losers! Bring on the
Tonight, all my guests have guilty secrets. So, Dwight, what's your story?
I've been seeing someone else. I've been seeing someone else. I've been seeing someone. I've been seeing your best friend. What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck is fucking
Peaches? Peaches, you seem surprised. Okay. My next guest is Chucky. Now, Chucky, it says here that your wife wants to be a pole dancer. Well, what do you have to say to that?
All women are whores, whores and sluts and prostitutes.
He don't know shit, he don't know shit, he just a piece of
Shut it, slut! Whatever.
Okay, hold on. Let's see you dance. We have a pole, we have some music. Chantel, show us your moves.
Jerry, come on.
I don't give a fuck no more if people think I am a whore. I just wanna dance. Oh, I just wanna dance. Things are going bad for me. I am feeling sad for me. So I just wanna dance. Oh, I just wanna dance. I'm tired of laughing and I'm tired of crying. I'm tired of failing and I'm tired of all this trying. I wanna do some living 'cause I've done enough dying. I just wanna dance. I just wanna fucking dance.
Take care of yourselves and each other.
Baghdad tonight, the 19th evening of airstrikes.
very shortly after the invasion of Iraq in 2003, I asked David Hare to come up with a response, and Stuff Happens was the play he wrote.
Freedom's untidy, and free people are free to make mistakes and commit crimes and do bad things. Stuff happens.
It was based on public records and eyewitness accounts, and only moved into areas of speculation when the conversations that it was reconstructing were necessarily secret. It included nothing that was known to be untrue. It blamed nobody, and it mocked nobody, and it left the audience to make up its own mind, which it doubtless did.
My concern is this, Tony. At this moment, just at this very moment, I'm finding the subject of Iraq seems to be moving up the agenda.
That's clear.
It's moving up all the time. Since 9/11, I'm getting a very strong feeling that this is something we can't leave alone. Saddam has to be dealt with. My view is we're moving into a second phase. We did Afghanistan, now we move on. The second phase. How do you feel about that, Tony? How do you feel about a second phase?
I agree with the idea.
Good, good.
And there's no question of leaving him alone. He's been left alone for far too long.
This is a guy who gashed his own people.
Quite. Quite. You and I want the same things.
I'm sure we do.
The only discussion is going to be about method, because, well, back at home, well, you probably know, you probably heard, you've taken soundings of your own?
As a matter of fact, yes.
Well, that's true. I'm going through one of those periods, you haven't had one yet, when political problems come together.
Can you give me an example?
Well, for example, I know it sounds silly, but fox hunting. Also, there's something called rail track.
Why, is that a railroad company?
Look, you really don't want to know. My point is this. I'm in rough water. There's an accumulation, foreign and domestic. First term's easy, George. 146 MPs have already signed what we call an early day motion. It's a kind of warning. And 130 of them are in my own party. They're expressing their opposition to British support for a US-led war on Iraq. The phrase they're using is deep unease.
Deep unease? Huh.
Now, you and I know we're way ahead of ourselves.
Way ahead.
Any war, any conceivable war, is a long way off. Isn't going to happen tomorrow.
Not tomorrow, no.
It's an option.
That's what it is. It's an option.
But I have to give you my judgment.
Oh, please, I welcome your judgment.
In the event of your considering armed action against Iraq, the British Parliament, and I would say still more the British people, won't go along without UN support. From the British point of view, this has to be approached in a certain way. On Afghanistan, you had a coalition. There were tensions, definite tensions, but we agreed on the aim. So it is here.
Say more.
I have an Attorney General who's advising me that any invasion of Iraq without UN support is going to be in breach of international law.
Is that what he says?
That's it. And that's what he says. In fact, he says more than that.
Do I know this guy?
You don't.
Tell me what he says.
What he says is this. Even with UN support, any invasion may still be illegal unless we can demonstrate that the threat to British national security from Iraq is what he calls real and imminent.
I see. I see. That's putting the bar quite high.
Yeah. That's high.
travailler cet après-midi?
Dans un garage?
Pas encore. Ayez pitié de nous.
Deacon, où voudriez-vous travailler aujourd'hui?
Je voudrais travailler dans une maison de passe.
Là. Qu'est-ce que c'est, hein?
A brothel. He would like to work in a brothel.
Très bien, mais une maison de passe où tous les clients utilisent le subjonctif ou le conditionnel. Voilà, attention. Qui est la femme de chambre?
Moi, je suis la femme de chambre.
Et comment t'appelez-vous?
Je m'appelle Simone. Simone, monsieur ne peut pas attendre. Oh, bonjour, monsieur.
Bonjour, chérie.
Entrez, s'il vous plaît. Voilà votre lit. Et voici votre prostituée.
Ici, on appelle un chat.
Merci, madame.
Mademoiselle, je veux m'étendre sur le lit.
Je voudrais... Oh, just lie on the bed in the subjunctive.
Mais les chaussures, monsieur, passent sur le lit.
Oh, excusez-moi, mademoiselle, excusez-moi.
Et votre pantalon, s'il vous plaît. Oh, quelle belle jambe.
Watch it.
Et maintenant, Claudine.
Oui, la prostituée, s'il vous plaît.
Oh, oh, oh!
Monsieur, je pensais que vous voudriez des préliminaires.
Quel préliminaire? Claudine, quels préliminaires sont sur le menu?
À quel prix?
10 francs.
10 francs. Pour 10 francs, je peux vous montrer ma prodigieuse poitrine.
Et maintenant, pourrais-je caresser les poitrines?
Non, ça vous coûterait 15 francs. Pour 20 francs, je pouvais poser votre bouche sur ma poitrine en agitant.
En agitant quoi?
Un autre client.
Cher monsieur le directeur.
Mr. Hector, what on earth has happened?
L'anglais, c'est interdit. Ici, on ne parle que français, en accordant une importance particulière au subjonctif.
Qu'est-ce que c'est passé ici? Pourquoi cet garçon, Deacon, isn't it? Elles sont ses trousers.
Quelqu'un? Ne soyez pas timide. Dites à monsieur le directeur ce que nous faisons. Deacon.
Je suis un homme qui...
Oh, vous n'êtes pas un homme. Vous êtes un soldat. Un soldat blessé. Soldat blessé, monsieur le directeur?
Wounded soldier, yes, of course.
Ici, c'est un hôpital en Belgique.
Belgique? Pourquoi Belgique?
À Ypres, sir.
Ypres?
Ypres. Pendant la guerre mondiale numéro 1.
Deacon, c'est un soldat blessé, un mutilé de guerre. Et tous les autres sont des médecins et infirmières et tout le personnel d'un grand établissement médical et thérapeutique. Continuez, mes enfants.
Il est commotionné, peut-être.
Comment?
Et il est commotionné.
shell-shocked.
C'est possible. Commotionné. Oui, c'est le mot juste.
Permettez-moi d'entreduire Monsieur Irwin, notre nouveau professeur.
Enchanté.
The cœur cheveux.
V.
No, enough of this silliness. They're not silliness, no. Mr. Hector, you are aware that these pupils are Oxbridge candidates.
Are they? Nobody's told me.
Mr. Irwin will be coaching them, but it's a question of time. Now, I've found him 3 lessons a week, but I was wondering...
No, headmaster.
Surely
no.
on a temporary basis. It'll be the last time, I promise.
Last time was the last time also.
I'm thinking of the boys.
I too. Non. C'est hors de question. Non, non, non. Absolument non. Et puis, si vous me permettez, je dois continuer la leçon. À tout à l'heure.
Fuck.
I'll wager a hatful of guineas against all the songs you can sing, that someday you'll love and the next day you'll lose, and winter will turn into spring.
Good boy, Joey.
And the snow falls, the wind calls, the year turns round again.
Good boy, Joey. Good
and
boy.
like barleycorn who rose from
Boy,
the grave,
come here, you!
New Year will rise up again. And there will come a time of great plenty, a time of good harvest and sun. Till then, put your trust in tomorrow, my friend, for yesterday's over and done. Plough, sow,
Get off, you!
reap and
You silly
mow,
donkey!
the year turns round again. And like barleycorn who rose from the grave, New Year will rise up again.
All right, Joey. You think you know everything, do you? Come on then, boy. Which hand is it in? Oh. Good boy, Joey. Good boy. Hello. What was that? And do that again. Come on. Way up, boy. And way up, boy. Yes. Good boy, Joey. Good boy. Easy, Joe. Easy. That's it. And way up, boy. Yes. Good boy, Joey. Good boy. Easy, Joe. Easy. Let's go again. Come on, Joe. And way up, boy.
Phoebe, arise, a gleam in her eyes, and the year turns round again. And like barleycorn who rose from the grave, New Year will rise up.
That's it, Joe. Come on, boy. Ah, good boy, Joey. Make him love. going to find out who killed Wellington.
Someone killed her dog?
With a fork.
Jesus Christ!
A garden fork.
Oh.
I like maths, and also I like outer space, and I like being on my own.
I can create people. You make sport with my life.
In the cause of science.
This is your universe, Frankenstein.
You need to love.
Oh.
You need to understand what it is to love. You carry on about the future and the great bright world, but you are scared to love. You are horrified by people and all their failings, and this purity you seek is a fear of life, of love.
What?
Higher than
What is she
love. You
saying?
are
What
not
is she
higher
saying?
than love. You are retarded. That's not a beard, it's fungus. Is there hair down there? Or is it all shrunken like a mossy statue of some baby man? Is there anything male about you?
This is horrible.
Is there a man down
What
there
is
at
she
all?
saying?
How old are you and not to have had a lover?
Well, I can't. I will
You're
leave.
a virgin at
This
your
is
age.
horrible!
Oh, sweet Susie, you see what you've done. You played him at his own sweet game and won.
I've got 2 jobs. How did that happen? You've got to concentrate, ain't ya? With 2 jobs. I mean, I can do it, as long as I don't get confused. But I do get confused easily. Well, I don't get confused that easily, yes I do. I'm my own worst enemy. Stop being negative. I'm not being negative, I'm being realistic. I'll screw it up, I always do. Who screws it up? You. You're the role model for village idiots everywhere. Me? You're nothing without me. You're the cock-up. Don't you call me a cock-up, you cock-up. You slapped me. Yes, I did, and I'm glad I did, because that hurts. Good, because you started it. Get off! Come here! 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 Get off! No! You wouldn't dare, wouldn't I?
London Road is about a real community in Ipswich that came together and healed itself after a series of murders. It was created from a series of interviews that I did with real people from that community. And Adam Cork set some of those interviews to music by following the real speech patterns of those people.
I've got nearly 17 hanging baskets in this back garden.
I'm nearly 17 hanging baskets in this back garden. And it was a bit of a crazy experiment.
I got nearly 17 hanging baskets in this back garden. Believe it or not, begonias and petunias and impatience and things.
Marigolds, petunias, we got up there. We got busy Lizzies, hanging geraniums, all right, see.
There's all sorts in that basket anyway.
Hanging lobelias, petunias in a basket, hanging basket.
That's
the fuchsia.
There is a special name I just
call them lilies. They're a lily type. There is a special name, and for the first time this year, I've got a couple of, baskets.
Begonias and petunias and, impatience and things.
Marigolds, petunias.
Petunias.
We got busy lizzies, hanging lobelia, hanging lobelia, hanging lobelia.
Hanging baskets, variegated ivy in there, which makes a nice show. And then you've got these sky blue, whatever they are, that's a little purple one.
Rhubarb, the old-fashioned margarets, the daisies.
The roses have done really well this year.
Yeah. Gave us an extra point for having Basil on the windowsill, didn't she?
Yeah. Hanging baskets,
Rhubarb,
variegated ivy in there,
yeah,
which makes a nice show. The roses, and then you've got the
old-fashioned
sky blue, yeah,
the day.
whatever they
And
are.
the lilies, seven types of hanging baskets. Basil on the windowsill, didn't she?
Purple ones.
Begonias and petunias and impatience and things. Begonias and petunias and impatience and things. Impatience and things. Impatience and things. Impatience.
Mate, this was but his dream.
But this denoted a foregone conclusion.
It is a shrewd suspicion, though it be but a dream, and this may help to thicken other proofs that do demonstrate thin.
I'll tear her all to pieces!
Nay, but be wise, yet we see nothing done. She may be honest yet. Tell me but this. Have you not sometimes seen a handkerchief spotted with strawberries in your wife's hand?
I gave her such a one. It was my first gift.
I know not that, but such a handkerchief, I'm sure it was your wife's. Did they see Cassio wipe his beard with?
If it be that!
If it be that, or any that was hers, it speaks against her with the other proofs.
Oh, that the slave had 40,000 lives! One is too poor, too weak for my revenge. Now I do see it is true. Look here, Iago, all my fond love. Thus do I blow to heaven. 'Tis gone. Arise, black vengeance, from thy hollow cell. Yield up, O love, thy crown and hearted throne to tyrannous hate. Swirl bosom with thy fraud, for 'tis of aspect's tongue.
Be content.
Blood! Blood!
Patience!
Blood!
I say, your mind perhaps might change.
Never, Iago! Like to the Pontic Sea, whose icy current and compulsive course ne'er feels retiring ebb, but keeps due on to the Propontic and the Hellespont. Even so, my bloody thoughts with violent pace shall ne'er look back, ne'er ebb to humble love, till that a capable and wide revenge swallow them up. Now, by yond marble heaven, in the due reference of a sacred vow, I here engage my words. Do not rise yet. Witness, you ever-burning lights above you elements that clip us round about. Witness that here Iago doth give up the execution of his wit, hands, heart, to run Othello's service. Let him command, and to obey shall be in me remorse. What bloody business ever?
I greet thy love, not with vain thanks, but with acceptance bounteous, and will upon the instant put thee to it. Within this 3 days, let me hear thee say that Cassio's not alive.
My friend is dead. 'Tis done as you request, but let her live.
Damn her, lewd minx. Oh, damn her! Damn her! Come, go with me apart. I will withdraw to furnish me with some swift means of death for the fair devil. Now art thou my lieutenant. Oh, I am your own. Forever.
Actors. I never get used to them.
They're frightened, but then everybody's frightened. To act is to be frightened. When I used to do it, I was always frightened. Threw up before every performance.
Before you were a stage manager, you acted.
Yes, I loved it.
What happened?
Nothing. That was the trouble. Actors are like soldiers. The soldiers fear the enemy. The actors fear the audience. Fear of failing. Fear of forgetting. Fear of art. Olivier ended up terrified. If you sat on the front row, you could see him trembling. And besides all that, there's the fear of this building. I worked once or twice with Ronald Eyre. Ron, not Richard. Difficult man, but like all the best directors, an ex-schoolmaster. He was here not long after it opened. The opening was, of course, disastrous. Ron said they should have moved out straight away, gone back to the Old Vic and rented the place out. Made the Olivier into a skating rink, the Cottesloe a billiard hall, and the Littleton boxing. Then after 20-odd years of ordinary, unpretentious entertainment, when it's shabby and run down and been purged of culture, and all the pretension had long since been beaten out of it, then, with no fanfare at all, they should sneak back with the occasional play. And nobody need be frightened anymore. Except, of course, the actors. He was wrong, though, Ron, because what's knocked the corners off the place, taken the shine off it, made it dingy and unintimidating, are plays. Plays plump, plays paltry, plays preposterous, plays purgatorial, plays radiant, plays rotten, but plays persistent. Plays, plays, plays.
A word or two before you go. I have done the state some service, and they know it.
That night, I heard Mozart's music for the first time.
In your letter.
Some serenade for wind instruments, only vaguely at first, too horrified to attend.
Tune's fears and that to friends. But when he meant to quail and shake the
solemn
he was as
They are stairs and then pretend they're what they're
Yes,
not.
words, masses and masses of words.
Yes, well, they're great fun to play.
Everybody's been on your holiday. Nice is very nice at this time of year. So I have been told.